Hey, what is up? How are you? I'm Mel, and this is my eyeshadow palette declutter sort of inventory 2022 and makeup wardrobe for 2023. So these are all of my 12 pan eyeshadow palettes, and in the background you can see here this is the chopping block. So this is where we're currently at with the chopping block, and I'm just going to keep adding to the chopping block as we go along. I can maybe adjust this so that you can still see it. How about that? There we go. Without further ado, I don't want this to be long. If you have questions about how I do makeup inventory, or if you have questions about why I do makeup library, then you can keep watching or you can ask questions below. I may or may not cover. Let's just get into showing what I have and where I'm at. So I'm going to just start right here. I have 4 of these. These are all Viseart, and I'm going to show them to you and tell you I'm going to keep all of these. And because these can be broken out into singles, let me pull off the little, I do keep all of the little plastic cards, but because they can be broken into singles, and because I have broken them into singles, usage is a little bit harder because this says I've used it twice, and clearly, not clearly to you, but clearly to me, I've used this more than twice. But this is a really fun palette in the Attendu size. This one is Paris Love Letter. So I don't have usage goals on these. I just want to make sure that I am using them. I might add them later, but because this is sort of like a singles library plus a palette, I just want to track usage, but I don't have goals. So that is going to stay. Then I picked this up this year. This is Cashmere. And Cashmere, I'm going to just open this for you. I do have a goal of 20 uses on this one, supposedly. I did write that on a Post-it note and stuck it to the palette. But this one I have used 4 times, if I can trust my little tick marks, which I can't because I've taken this out for singles. So 4 would be a minimum on this one, but that is Cashmere, Paris Love Letter. Now this is Mingset. There are 3 pan sizes for Viseart. This is my favorite pan size. This is the Attendu size. I don't prefer the petite size a whole lot, but I like the Attendu size a lot. Isn't that just lovely? I will tell you, this one's looking a little different on the monitor than it is in person. Those browns are just a little bit deeper than they are in real life. Yeah, that's a little bit better. You can see that one in the lower, your left corner is maybe not quite as deep as that, and the one next to it is actually purple. So if I hold it like this, it's a little bit harder to tell, but this is a pretty one. I've used it 5 times. And it's not going anywhere. It's a really nice warm palette. And then this is actually one of my favorites. This is Sur la Plage. I know other people don't feel that way, but this one I've actually used 8 times since I purchased it, assuming that I've marked it every single time. And this palette might be a little bit overwhelming where you're like, oh, I see the ocean. I see yellow. This is so much more usable than you might ever think that it is. I really, really like this palette. It actually got me super excited. The peach is in it, and just a really, really good one. Now we have my sad ones. These are going to be getting decluttered. They are breaking my heart, but this is the Slim Pro 1. It was a gift from my friend. I've used it 8 times. These are the best. I depotted them. They were originally in a different packaging, and I ruined them. I don't even know if I can really open and show you. One shade is completely ruined. This is just destroyed. I am devastated about it. I am very, very good at depotting, and I ruined them. So this is going actually in my chopping block. I'm going to get rid of it, but I'd like to go through my singles and see what shades I have that are similar. And then I might buy just the singles from Viseart that I'm lacking, or see if there's any that I can repress. I mean, isn't that just heart-wrenching? I ruined 2. This is what happens when you think you can do 2 at once. You're just like, oh, I can depot 2 at the same time. So the palettes themselves will be sticking around because I can reuse them, but those will not. And then I do have Sultry Muse, same packaging. This is thankfully one that already came with the ability to be depotted. My goal on this one is 20 uses, and I've used it 9 times to date. I will be changing that Post-it note so that I can track that by year, but this is just beautiful. I'm not even a fan of silver, but that silver is a silver even I can wear. But yeah, just terrific. So I'm keeping this one for sure. Man, that other one just it just breaks my heart. It really does. It breaks my heart. Every time I see those, I'm like, that, and it makes a mess. So that it's a twofold problem there. So next, let's just go right into another one that I really love. This is Juvia's Nubian Coral. This is the only one I've kept, maybe one of 2 that I have not depotted. And my goal is to use this 20 times. I've used it 4 times. Again, with silvers that I can wear and peaches. I'm just inspired by this every spring. There's no reason to declutter it, to depot it. I like this as it is. I would just put it back into a palette in the same way that this is done. One of the things about Juvia's Place that I think makes them get decluttered is that you can't tell what you have from the packaging. You can with this. This is called coral. It looks coral. And when you open it on the inside, we have, wait for it, coral with a little bit of gray. And so I think that really helps to make this one just a classic. I really like it. I'm going to keep that one. I do use that one. And I don't know if I put goals in this one. My goal was 20 uses. How much I paid, I don't have put in here yet, but I'll be updating the Post-it notes on all of these. This is just a category I haven't gotten to yet. So let's go to the True Beauty palette. This is from BK Beauty, and this palette is very unique in the sense that I think it's made in Canada. Yep, made in Canada. Not a whole lot of products that I have made in Canada. I like this one. This one's very satiny, very basic. This is the kind of palette that I like to pull out when I want to do makeup on, like, I don't know, somebody with older eyes or somebody who's not very adventurous or whatever else. So I have not been tracking my usage on this because I was tracking it on the plastic, and the plastic is lost. So in 2022, I used it once, but you can kind of tell by the palette. I usually keep these unbelievably clean. I've definitely used this more than that, but it's nice. The pans in this are magnetic, but they are glued in, so you'd have to wreck the packaging to turn this into singles, and I wouldn't do that. So partly too, this palette really represents a group of makeup lovers that I really love, and so this one stays for them as well. It's definitely more basic than I typically want, but I do pull for it. I do use it. That one's going to stay. This one is new to me this year. This is going to stay. I love this. One of the best green palettes made in 2022. This is Jade Stone from Bobbi Brown, made in the USA, which I think is super fascinating. Made in the USA. This is Jade Stone. So this shade right here on the corner is super crumbly, and it can arrive broken. It does repress. But this, if you wanted green brown from Natasha Denona and couldn't afford it, this is like the best alternative. It's such a great palette. And then this is the 2021 holiday. I wish they would have stuck with this paper packaging. I love this packaging. I used this one 5 times since I purchased it, but one of the things they did with it is this piece is a mirror that can come out. I just have mine turned backwards because it makes it easier for me to film, basically. And it needs a new label so I can put how much usage goal stuff I have on it. But this wine shade right here is, oh, it's so nice. This is a great palette. My absolutely only complaint is I really wish, and the pan sizes are different as well, I wish that they would do a consistent packaging each year, but not going anywhere. 5 uses. This stays in the library of love. Okay, next one is going to be, this one is a 22 palette also. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Nouveau. This is, I don't know, I've used this 8 times. I love this palette. One of the best palettes of, in my opinion, 2022. That purple pan, like a lot of this reminds me of the Zoeva Melody that I love. This is such a good palette. I love the packaging. I love that they took out the brush. I love that they went down 2 shades but made the pans bigger. I love this. It just couldn't be better. It's reimagined but done better. I'm so pleased. And the same can be true for Rose Metals. I'm not getting rid of these at all. And I know some people didn't love the grunginess. I've used this one 3 times. I love the grunge. I'm dark. This dark palette can go for me. And these are unique in a world of like palettes that are the same. They're unique. My only gripe is that they are magnetic, but you'd have to destroy the packaging to take them out. I wish that I could use them as singles. They're pressed pigment. So, really, really good. Those are staying in the library. All right. This is the worst declutter I've ever seen. It's just 2 palettes you broke. But this isn't a declutter. This is my inventory, and I don't have goals for how many palettes I want to own, but I am going to declutter this one. Are you proud of me? This is from Illamasqua. It's made in PRC, which isn't usually my favorite formula, but I already have the BK Beauty palette in similar tones, and I actually have a friend I know will love this palette, so I'm going to give this to a friend who I know for a fact will love it. It doesn't even need to go on the chopping block. It's just gone. KKW Beauty's camo palette, though, this is going on the chopping block. I like the packaging. I've only used it like 1 time, so it's going on the chopping block so I can get more familiar. What I may do is pop out any shades I don't like and replace them with shades that I do that kind of follow the camo theme and have a better camo palette if I run into that. But it's going on the chopping block. This one is also going on the chopping block. This is from What's Up Beauty. Now don't come for me, okay? This is new. I just got it, but it's going on the chopping block. I touched the shimmer shades. They're all toppers. I know that didn't look like a topper, but look, it's a topper. Every single one of these shimmer shades is a topper. Like a very sheer topper. But I was talking to Alejandra Lizette, and she was saying she actually likes that because she can count on their toppers to look good and stay nice. It feels like Urban Decay. It's just not that great. And I think the packaging is nice because it's sleek, it's raised. But I'm just kind of sad. I wanted it to be, like something more. But maybe I just need to get to know it. And so it's going on the chopping block so I can get to know it. And if I can't get to know it, or if I get to know it and I still don't like it, then I actually think I'll give it to my little sister, because I do think my little sister would like it. Okay, this one has been on the chopping block, off the chopping block, on, off. This is my only Charlotte Tilbury. This might stay in my library just because it's my only Charlotte Tilbury, but it was a gift from a friend. It was like a luxury gift from a friend, which makes it really hard to get rid of it. But I've actually kept a lot of other palettes from that friend, and so this is going to go on the chopping block. It's just, I'm sorry, I know it's Charlotte, but it's not that good. And I'm not going to keep things based on brand. I'm just not. Okay, next we have 2 palettes from Lethal Cosmetics. I just want to say, these 2 palettes I got in a set. You can see they have holes in the back. You can rearrange these. I did rearrange these. What I did is I took all the shades that are more difficult for me to wear, or that I think I have a lot of things similar, and I put them in here. And then and then I put all of, and this is like my least favorite of the 2 packaging. They're both pretty, but berries aren't my favorite. Greens are my favorite. And so then what I did with this is I put in the shades that I like the most. Oh, well, hello, whiny puppy. So these are the shades I absolutely love. So this is going to go in my, I'm going to actually do this. Let's do, because I've gotten this and I don't know it, and I don't know these, and I've got these 2 Pat McGrath palettes in the Getting to Know You pile, and then these Lethal palettes. I definitely want to get to know this one. If I really like the formulas, I've never used Lethal. These are made in Germany, and the brand is in Germany, and I purchased from Germany. You want to be with the kids. But anyway, I'm going to get to know this one for January. If I really like it, then I'm going to keep this one. If I don't really, really like it, then I'm going to sell this one because it isn't touched. I don't want to touch any of these shades and diminish the pleasure for someone else if I end up not loving the formula, because Lethal is really hard to get a hold of in the US. So it's going in the this one's going in the chopping block just because I'm getting to know the other formula. I don't want to get to know that one. If I put it in Get to Know You, I'll use it. So we have 1 declutter, we have 4 Get to Know Yous, and then I've moved into the chopping block an additional 5 palettes. So I just want to use what I have. I want to get to know and love and use what I have more this year, purchase less. And I'm not trying to hit certain numbers of palettes. I'm just not. This is a makeup library, and it gets to be a makeup library, and it's fine.